Evergrande's debt stands at 2.43 trillion yuan, with a debt ratio of 132.6%, indicating that the company is currently insolvent. What sets Evergrande Group apart in terms of its revenue generation methods? The market has offered various descriptions of Evergrande's business model, including land acquisitions, rapid development, and fast sales collections, among others. However, the core feature of Evergrande's business model is high leverage. To fund its operations, Evergrande raises capital from nearly every possible channel and strives to minimize capital expenditures during development. For instance, Evergrande allows builders to advance funds during construction, which magnifies the company's leverage to the extreme, enabling it to achieve higher scale growth, revenue growth, and faster turnover rates. While high leverage has brought rapid growth to Evergrande, two necessary conditions are required for such an operation to succeed. Firstly, the real estate industry as a whole must experience rapid growth, which Evergrande encountered in its early days. Secondly, developers must operate with high efficiency, and the return on investment generated during the building process must be higher than financing costs. Evergrande's strong execution and swift actions enable it to develop multiple projects simultaneously, generating enough returns to cover its various costs. Chinese enterprises, particularly private enterprises, tend to adopt a high-leverage development model during their development process, especially in their early stages. However, as companies mature and their business models evolve, their leverage ratios generally decline gradually, becoming more risk-controlled. Evergrande is different in two ways. Firstly, Evergrande exhibits an exceptionally aggressive approach when it comes to leveraging, with a debt ratio as high as 150%, while other companies maintain debt ratios below 50%. Secondly, prior to the recent incident, Evergrande did not take significant measures to reduce its leverage ratio for risk management, indicating that it operated in a high-risk mode for an extended period. Once either of the two necessary conditions mentioned above goes wrong, it may cause a significant blow to Evergrande. As proven, when the wind direction changed, Evergrande could not withstand such a blow. In March 2008, Evergrande prepared to list in Hong Kong. In order to obtain a higher valuation, the company, which was already very aggressive in its operations, chose to add fuel to the fire. According to media reports at the time, Evergrande Real Estate's land bank increased ninefold in 2007 compared to 2006, reaching as high as 45.8 million square meters when it launched in March 2008. This land bank was second only to Country Garden and nearly twice that of Vanke. However, Evergrande was unlucky as it faced the US subprime mortgage crisis, mainland credit tightening, real estate regulation, and other factors, leading it to terminate its listing plan on March 20th, 2008. The significant land purchases caused Evergrande to accumulate vast debts. The company hoped to change this situation through listing, but the failure of the listing suddenly forced Evergrande into a desperate situation, putting its capital chain in jeopardy. Just when Xu Jiayin and Evergrande were struggling, the situation changed fundamentally, and the 4 trillion investment plan was launched in November 2008. The 4 trillion yuan launched the largest economic stimulus plan in recent years, and the real estate control policy also experienced a 180-degree reversal. Developers finally received reinforcements. From Evergrande's experience in 2008, it is evident that it had already encountered a crisis. However, Evergrande managed to withstand risks not due to its exceptional business acumen, but rather owing to the favorable tailwinds provided by changes in macroeconomic policies. Despite the thrilling experience, Evergrande has not learned a lesson. As of the end of June 2023, the company's total assets and total liabilities were 1.74 trillion yuan and 2.39 trillion yuan, respectively, indicating that it is in a serious insolvency situation. Over 90 billion in cumulative dividends distributed by Evergrande Group previously, offshore companies located in the British Virgin Islands and Cayman Islands, which are wholly controlled by Xu Jiayin and Ding Yumei, respectively, received the majority of these dividends through China Evergrande. Ultimately, these dividends ended up in the possession of Ding Yumei, the overseas ex-wife, who has technically undergone a divorce. Insolvency and the diversion of funds indicate that the businessman, who was once China's richest man, can no longer continue to build his own legacy.